Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am about to go to a cafe. It's New Year's Eve. New Year is on its way. Crazy. But yeah, gonna get a coffee, do a little bit of journaling, maybe like walk around a little bit, sightsee. Just had a very good workout. Really good. I did, what did I do? I did legs. So I got a little pump. Yeah, I'm excited for today. Whatever it will bring, who knows. I look forward to having an espresso with honey and a little bit of oat milk. I've been thinking about it. I haven't had coffee this entire trip and I've been here for almost a week now. It's time. It's time. I'm going to this cafe. My Uber just said that they have good coffee too, so my great first introduction to San Diego coffee. This is a quick trip. My Uber is like on the way because I can't stay because I have to go back to the house because we're going to the stores like a family and stuff. I'm excited. My coffee will probably be really tasty. This is like a $28 coffee order. Because like Uber here is $10. Uber back is $8. Coffee was like 15. So yeah. We're in the 20s. It's okay. It's okay. Coffee is, it's really good espresso, I will say that. The honey didn't really mix with the espresso, so I docked some points for that. So other than that, the ambiance was nice. The baristas were kind. The coffee's not bad though. I like it. It's a good first coffee. It's been a lot of consumption. Good consumption. I mean, I've enjoyed like all that I've watched, all that I've read, all that I have interacted with, and I've been able to have some really spicy, just like good conversation about it throughout the year. I have a few things on my mind as of right now that I would love to get into, love to talk about. Starting with my notebooks that I've been using recently. So I just got these not too long ago actually. For the majority of this year I used a 5-star college ruled notebook, so a big thick book. It had like the orange folder every like 150 pages or something. I completely annihilated that book and I love that I did. The book really like aged well, I will say. It's very worn in, it's very used. I've written in cursive all throughout the book. It's weathered. It's weathered and I like that it's weathered. I wanted to do a different vibe going into the new year, just in general, because it got kind of heavy like lugging it around all the time. So I invested in these. They are from Italy. The brand is BFA. I'm probably not saying it right because I don't have an Italian accent. Just regular lined notebook. I have to have lines because I'd be writing crooked. This one is for my morning pages. You've seen it in my last video. I have been going crazy in it. It came in a pack of 3. So this is morning pages. This one is empty. I have not delegated it to anything yet. So we'll see what I end up using it for. This leather will get worn in and aged and it'll start to look old, but I like that old look. I also had an idea to weave a needle and thread along the outline of the book. A lot of my journals, I kind of just doodle and I like to really put my mind on the paper. So that's that. These are my notebooks. The third one is back there and I use it just kind of like to purge, let everything out, discuss whatever might be on my mind. And I need that. I need that. Next is this book, Overdue. It's by Stephanie Perkins. I have a library by my house that I have used so much this year. I actually was almost finished with this book before coming on my trip to San Diego. I had about 50 pages left, so I tried to finish it on the car ride to the airport, but I couldn't finish it. So I brought it and I finished it. It's like on the plane. Super nice book though. A little bit of a love story. I love reading romance. The main characters work in a library. It's about love, loss, starting new endeavors, taking bets on yourself, seeing who shows up for you. I started the book and it was very slow at the beginning. I almost put it down for good and like didn't want to finish it. I'm glad that I kept reading. As I got into it, I kind of wanted to continue to learn what would happen. The main character does like a lot of dating. What else does she do? She takes a bet on herself. She, I don't want to spoil the book. Like, I want to tell you about it, but I don't want to spoil the book. She takes a bet on herself for her career, for love, just the lifestyle she wants, and it ends up working to her favor. I really like this one. It was pretty big, around like 415 pages. I like to read on the treadmill, so I got through quickly during my cardio sessions. And then my current book, I have to get it. 1 second. I look like Goldilocks when she was running from... Is it the Big Bear or the Three Bad Wolves? I don't know. I forget. I'm thinking of Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. It's Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Okay, I was right. My first gut was right. Trust your first gut. But this book, I actually picked up. I was actually on one of my walks. I saw a little library in front of someone's house, and I love little libraries. Just getting books that other people have read. Something called them to pick up the book. Maybe they read it, maybe they didn't like it, and they just like put it down. This particular library had a lot of mystery, love, and death. Which is crazy. Like, that's kind of crazy. I'm in the beginning of it. I think I've only gotten to like page 20 and I'm liking it so far. People are kind of like in their careers. Defense attorney in Washington, D.C. She has a partner that is a writer. He has his career, but he's kind of like struggling with it. That's really all I know right now. They're really just like laying the groundwork for the overall like setting and location and theme and tone and everything. So I'm still very much early days. I'm excited to continue reading this. I haven't really dabbled in psychological thrillers, suspenseful books. I mean, I had a little bit of a suspenseful summer book era, but I kind of fell off in the fall. But this one, a completely gripping psychological suspense. Hey, I don't know, but it might be one of those ones. So yeah, over 1 million copies sold. I always wonder about these little metrics that they put on here, because somehow every book is a New York Times #1 bestseller or whatever it is. Everything is a bestseller. Everything's on Oprah's book club or a Reese Witherspoon book club or whatever. Everything is critically acclaimed, which is great. I love that for y'all. Other books that I've read, I started this book called Hannah Khan Carries On. Didn't really love it. It was hard to get into. I eventually put it down. It is at home. I asked my brother to return it to the library for me. And the other book that I read, forgetting the name of it, oh my gosh, but it was a great story about I like to read stories that sometimes relate to me in my life. So a first generation Palestinian American, she's trying to like learn a little bit more about her culture and her heritage. Her father passed when she was young in 9/11. Her mom passed also. She's basically her grandparents' caretaker, but they also take care of her. There has been a little bit of like family conflict whenever it comes to like back home in Palestine. Also like the ongoing Palestinian conflict that has been going on for years and years and years, predating the current situation that's going on in Palestine. Free them, by the way. She wants to learn a little bit about her heritage from her grandparents. Her grandmother has a little bit of trauma with back home, and she doesn't really feel comfortable to open up about what happened in Palestine. What was her situation like? What was her childhood like? The main character basically feels like she'll learn a lot about herself once she learns about her culture, about her heritage. And that's something that I relate to as a first generation Nigerian American. I know myself very well, but it's just so important to have your personal connection to back home. For me, to back in Nigeria, in Igbo land, I'm learning more as I grow. I hear stories from my parents and I talk to my family members and I do my own personal education. I have my brother, thankfully, to talk through these things with, because it is kind of isolating. It's hard to kind of like, it's hard to be a first gen. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to be that. Growing up here has been an absolute privilege and I am so grateful for it. There's still so much to learn and so much more to explore about myself, my family, and my lineage. I feel like it's my duty to do that. I'll then further know how to connect with the world and how to exist within this world here in America, but also in Nigeria. So I really love the story. We ended up finding out a little bit about the grandmother and what her trauma was with Palestine. It was so crazy. Like, the way that they wrote that book was incredible. It was the author's first novel. It was her debut, and it blew me I was like, girl, you must have been writing books for real, for your whole life. It was amazing. She found a way to weave in journal entries from her grandmother's childhood, because her grandmother was a writer. That's why you need to be picking up your notebook. You need to write, because you never know. Her grandmother was a writer, and she wrote these stories, changed the names in the stories or whatever. It was later revealed that she was basically writing about her life. She unfortunately had an arranged marriage with someone she did not want to get married to at a very young age. She was 16. The person was pushing 60. Incredible age gap. She fell in love with a soldier from the British Army. It kind of had like a forbidden love story. It ended up not being able to fully live up to what it could have possibly been, just because of the war conflict, but then also because, you know, he's a soldier and he had to get deployed to a different territory, and it's not like he can just not go. I mean, he could not go. I really wanted him to not go to see like what would happen, because I don't know, I like that. I like that. It was sad. It was really sad. Things ended up coming back together. To make a long story short, she learned a lot about her heritage and her history. The Palestinian-Israeli conflict, she got to learn about it from someone who lived through it, being her grandmother, that's so vital, especially today, like whenever it comes to like sharing those stories and telling the actual truth about what's going on, as opposed to relying on Western media to tell you the story, because Western media has their ties to Israel. It was great. The main character learned a lot, and that further informed her and her identity, and it allowed her to experience love, open up to her family about love, you know, fully step into that era of womanhood as a first generation American, for her Palestinian American. It was a great story. I wasn't looking for it. It was one of those situations where I'm just in the library looking on the back end, and I see something that the art on the book looks really nice, because I love to doodle. It had some really nice doodles. I read the back of it and I was like, wow, this low-key is relatable. Yeah, I love that book. I probably will reread it. It was really, really, really well written. I will attach the name of the book in this video so that you can go, you know, read it if you'd like to, read a summary about it, spark notes it, whatever. Now we're gonna go to films. So at the top of my list, The Social Group Boundaries Unchained. I was able to kind of have a personal connection with that film, so it has not released yet, but I kind of have the inside scoop, so I get to see bits. It's literally the project that I've been working on since like 2020 with my brother. You'll learn more about this film if you stay tuned to my channel. Not to grab you in there, but if you kind of want to follow the journey, the Boundaries Unchained journey. Yeah, that's a project that I've been editing, myself and our editor Clay, and that's been a big step for me, just kind of like stepping up in that vicinity and really letting my creative mind be a dictator and the driver of the ship. Like, I've learned so much about myself, but I've also like become more confident in my decision making and my ideas. My brother recently got to watch back the cut, our most recent edit that myself and our editor had been working on, and he was really pleased, and I was like, that's crazy, because like I low-key was worried that he would watch it and he'd be like, what did y'all do? Like, what did y'all put on the timeline? But he loved it. And I'm like, wow, thanks. Now going to other films. Girl, I watched Sentimental Value finally on the plane. That film is beautiful. That film is very beautiful. The story is great as well. I'm not gonna say too much about it. Really, in this whole thing, I'm not gonna say too much. These are just my little Zozo recommendations. Sentimental Value, I watched it on Delta Airlines. It hasn't had a USA premiere yet. I think they've only premiered it in Canada. It was a great film. I highly would recommend. One Battle After Another. This was one of the films that I saw this year, and I was like, the fact that this script has been written for 10 years and it is still relevant to this day. I love when stories relate to the current political climate of the world, let alone the United States. A lot of these problems have been around for years and years and years, and they kind of sort of aren't going away. They're only getting worse. To have a piece that highlights what has been going on and tells the story with such an amazing cast. Regina, Leonardo DiCaprio, Chase Infinity, Sean Penn, and it's a PTA film. Crazy. That in itself is crazy, and I love watching interviews and the press tour, just different things that the cast do when promoting the film. I had a blast watching all of One Battle After Another's content that's just on the internet, but the film was great. It was so pretty. The shots were pretty. They shot it on film, of course. The car scene, oh my goodness. I felt like I was in the car. I felt like I was in the car. Story. What 16-year-old wouldn't have a phone? Like, what 16-year-old wouldn't have a phone? I don't blame her for having the phone, but girl, why did you have that phone? Because that low-key got all of y'all caught. It was an incredibly relevant film. Also highlighted what the higher-ups do to get into certain social circles, that notoriety and credit. But yeah, Tiana ate, Leo ate. Everything was chess until it wasn't. One Battle After Another is on my top 3 of films in 2025. Next up, obviously Sinners. The way I've watched this film, I think I watched Sinners 8 times, and that's the most I've ever watched a film in theaters ever. I get obsessive over things that I really like. Sinners is one of the things that I really liked. It hit a different muscle of my creative brain every time I watched it. And I'll never forget, like, my first time watching Sinners was actually in Britannia Theater in New Orleans. It's like this retro theater that is, they preserved it to look like how it looked when it was first built. So the inside of the theater, they only have one screen. It's very dated. If I have any pictures of it, I will totally put them in here. I saw the film with the loved one on opening night. That is like one of my best cinematic memories, experiences ever. I don't think anything will top that. It was just such a lovely night. We got our snacks that we love together to eat, to like bond over. Also watching a movie with someone who actually understands the importance of film. You can like dissect the film with that person. It just like you're watching it and you both turn and you're like, that shot was so pretty. And it's like a Spider-Man, like I just said that, you just said that, we said it at the same time. Oh, because we have the same film mind. It was like one of those experiences. I absolutely loved the film. Being there on opening night was perfect. We had great seats. There's so much to say about Sinners. The chemistry between each scene partner, if it was like a 2-on-2 scene or if it was an ensemble scene, everybody had so much chemistry, and I can tell that they all understood what was going on. They understood the importance of creating a piece of art like that, which is so creme de la creme. I mean, Michael B. Jordan having 2 of them is like, whoa. And with me watching interviews, seeing him explain a little bit more about his process and how like absolutely dialed in he had to be, that is the type of stuff that I love, because I love getting dialed in to where I'm just like tunnel vision, focus mode, like gotta get this thing done. I know what I'm here to do. I know what I want to do. I know what I see myself doing and what I can pour into this project. And just the concept of playing twins, 2 completely different attitudes, mannerisms, character traits, personalities. Just even hearing that they would film one twin, I think they would film Smoke first and they would film Stack second, because Stack is more like light, more witty. He's just a little bit more relaxed than Smoke. It's just, that's really what it means to just dive into your craft. Just give your all into your performance and into your role. Ryan Coogler is an amazing director. I love his work. I am just, the fact that he works with his wife, Zinzi, that's something that I really admire, and that's so special to me. It's not every day you get to work with someone that you deeply love and you feel connected to. It's a special thing, and I love that they get to do that, and they have their production company and they're able to do all this stuff together while building. What else about Sinners? I love Autumn. She was a cinematographer. The fact that it was a woman is, yes. The future is female. The matriarchy is rising. Also, her work that she did on The Last Showgirl, it's with Pamela Anderson. That also was a beautifully shot film. That's also on my list. Her work is incredible. Even just watching her interviews and learning more about her career and how she got started and what little things that she likes to do and hone in on just to make the film that much better. Super inspiring, and I love to be inspired by other artists. The fact that we have YouTube to where we can feel like we're having these one-on-one conversations with such incredible, talented, and passionate creators is really special. Don't take that for granted. Like, we have so much on this app of YouTube. It's crazy. I really enjoyed Sinners. I'm not gonna get too much into the story because, you know, you've probably watched it already, and if you haven't, I wish you saw it in theaters. I wish you saw it in Britannia with me. Yeah, it was awesome. Ludwig and the score. That score did something to me to where it was on my like Apple Music recap or whatever they call it. It was there because every song was just so incredibly powerful. I would listen to the song and I'm watching the film in my brain. That's how moving and captivating and all-encompassing it was. I absolutely loved that. Also hearing that that whole entire score was prepared before the film was shot, it makes sense why the film was so good. They got to actually act to the music that would be playing in the background of the film. I feel like that's such a cheat code and a life hack, and that's something that I haven't written in my notebook for whenever I get my chance. And not when I get my chance, but whenever I catch up with the version of myself that's doing all these things that I dream of doing and I want to do. That's something that is so like, duh. Like, of course, like, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. I think about opening night all the time and how I want to just go back and experience that whole thing again, the whole entire day. Everything about it. Getting to the theater, sitting in the theater, opening up the cookie dough ice cream, Whole Foods almond, the Whole Foods almond cookie dough ice cream. And I think I had skinny dipped almonds too, because that's my favorite snack, and a Whole Foods chocolate chip cookie. Oh yes. It was everything. I forget my beverage. I think it was Poppy's. It was perfect. And just hearing the film flicker in the back. Because Britannia is like one of the 7 locations showing it in 75mm film. It wasn't in IMAX, plain 75s. And I can't help but remember like how long the line was wrapping around the theater. Because I went to the first showing. By the time the second showing was around, like the theater was still packed. The line wrapped around the building. I know some people didn't get in because like there's only one screen and there's only so many seats, but it was great. It was great. I think Magazine Dreams I saw this year too. I saw Magazine Dreams and Honora this year. I really liked Honora. I think it was such an important story to tell because of the culture around like sex workers and how they're respected and disrespected and not really seen as full people, but like as of objects. The way that they're objectified is not the best. It's oftentimes women who are in this predicament. I really liked the story. I thought it was super creative, and she was eating up the New York accent. I have a fake New York accent that I like to bring out sometimes, but Mikey ate that. She ate that. I also enjoyed Magazine Dreams. That was a cool film. It touched on how like obsession can cloud you and kind of work to your disadvantage in some instances whenever it comes to chasing a goal. His goal was bodybuilding and being the best, basically. I admire that. That's something that I also embody. I want to do my best. I want to be my best. But sometimes it can end up biting you in the butt. Can't remember if his health condition was disclosed or if it was even acknowledged by the grandfather at all. It highlighted that we shouldn't ignore certain health conditions and certain things that are going on within people that they're born with. You're just super vulnerable, and you don't really have that extra layer of protection for yourself as you go about existing with people who don't have these conditions, people who function normally. That was a cool film to watch. It was also really pretty. It was very beautiful. I'm remembering the shots in my head. That was a cool film. My most recent watch was Marty Supreme. I saw that on Christmas. This was also the year of me seeing films on opening night. So many of these movies that I've watched that I haven't even mentioned, I saw on opening night, and I love that. I'm an opening night girl. Like, we gotta go opening night and we not going. Yes, Marty Supreme. I was looking forward to this film. Oh, and F1. Oh my gosh. I almost forgot F1. But let's talk about Marty Supreme. The Pursuit of Greatness. It was a really interesting story. So Odessa, I'd never do this. I don't know why I did that. I think it's because my nails. Odessa was creme de la creme. She's also in I Love LA. That's a TV show that I've watched. It's directed by Rachel Sennott, created by her, and she directed the last episode. I mean, that show is literally about LA influencing and the social dynamics that surround people within the LA influencer space. It's a really interesting show to watch, and it's funny and it's pretty. I really love the cast. But back to Marty Supreme. It was a comedy. That film was very funny to me. It was also very stressful, but also I'm stress prone. Certain things that stress me out don't stress other people out, but I was low-key stressed for Marty because he kept getting himself in situations where I'm like, how are you gonna make it through? How are you gonna get to your tournament? How are you gonna get this money? How is all this gonna happen? Something that I really appreciated in Marty Supreme was he knew who he wanted to be, and that was the best. He had that confidence that did turn to arrogance. It did turn to really big-headedness, and it ended up biting him in the butt all throughout the film. But his internal knowing that, like, you know, he's a great table tennis player and he can be the best and he can beat the best. Certain type of mindset that you have to have, that by any means necessary mindset, is exactly what Marty had. It worked for him until it didn't. Me being an athlete, I know what it's like to have to know internally, like, I am that girl, I am that guy. You really have to embody it. You have to walk into it. You have to put on that super suit, and Marty definitely did that, and he definitely got to the places where he wanted to get to. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the prize that he wanted, obviously, but he also was able to prove himself to himself, and that was something that I found very comforting despite all the chaos of the film. Tyler also being in the film was absolutely crazy, and the movie was funny. Like, the movie was very funny. High stress, high wit, high work ethic. Also, Timothée Chalamet being a beast at table tennis. Like, he was a beast at table tennis. Like, that was him playing tennis for real. That was really nice to see, because behind the scenes, I know that he had to work his tail off to be that experience. I heard that on the set of Dune 3, he had like a table tennis set up somewhere. I don't know if it was in his place where he was staying or if it was on set or whatever, but like, he was actively like practicing because he knew that he had this gig lined up that happened to be Marty Supreme that he had to, you know, be on his A game for. So I really appreciated that. I love whenever people dive into that hard work mentality because they know they have this goal of being this person on screen, or being this creative, or being this business person, athlete, public speaker, whatever. I just love the fact that people who go all in for their goals, for what they want to achieve, I love that, because I also do that. I appreciate that, because that's also something that I embody and I want to continue embodying. So that was really, really great. And if you haven't seen Marty Supreme, it'll be in theaters for a good bit longer. So definitely go and watch it. Watch it. I think the last film I'm going to talk about is F1. Brad Pitt and Damson Idris, they did their stunts. It was a cool story. It was also kind of like in the world similar to Marty Supreme. Young guy knows what he wants. He wants to be the best. Brad Pitt comes in. He's like, yo, I'm that guy. I've been out of the game for a little bit, but like, don't lose any respect on my name. I liked that film, and the way that both characters found a way to like, kind of like work together and find love and care and respect for one another. Brad being older, Damson being younger. I forget their real names in the movie, but I enjoyed F1, and it was also a really pretty film, beautifully shot. I think one of their sponsors in the film was Uniqlo, and that's something that I love in sports films, whenever actual brands have sponsorships or partnerships, whatever you'd want to call it, with characters or with the actual film. The fact that Uniqlo was a sponsor in F1 was crazy, because like, all the gear was Uniqlo. It was just really cool. I really appreciate stuff like that, especially as an athleisure wearer. I'm always in workout clothes when I'm working out. I don't really wear athleisure just like on the daily, but that was really cool. I like when I see that. It's very nice. I think that's all on my films. Television shows. I finished Snowfall this year. Wow, what a ride. Literally, what a ride. The fact that I watched Snowfall in 2025, I'm glad that I did, because I had so many people in my corner telling me like what to expect, what to prepare myself for. People saying like, oh, just wait till you get to season 5, you'll be so upset. Yeah, I get what y'all mean. Character development of Franklin Saint was like, I started watching episodes from season 1 again just for shits and giggles, and I was like, this is the same Franklin that exists in season 3, season 4. This is the same guy. I loved Snowfall though. I loved it. I cannot wait to rewatch it. It's just like one of those shows where it's like, yeah, I had a very good time binging that. As I was like living in New Orleans in school, I would want to like hurry up and finish my homework so I can get home, make my little dinner and watch Snowfall, sit on the couch and chill out and stretch and stuff. I loved Snowfall this year. I'm so glad that I watched it in 2025. What other shows did I watch? I started The Studio. I have not finished it, but I like The Studio. Severance also started it, haven't finished it, still watching. Stranger Things. I've been a part of the Stranger Gang for years. I remember watching the first episode of Stranger Things back like in 2016, and I was like, what did I just get myself into? Like, I've been hooked on Stranger Things since Ben. since been. So much to the point where like I've been gifted Stranger Things paraphernalia for Christmas. One year I got a Stranger Things shirt. Another year I got like shoes inspired by the show that are like a limited edition release. Oh, it's Wednesday. It's New Year's Eve. Season 5 is tonight at 8. I'm on that. I'm on that. I am on that. I'm on that. I'm on that. Okay, I'm on that. But I think that's all for my favorite pieces of media. I have not disclosed my favorite articles yet. That I will have to get my computer out for because I have everything saved. Trust, it will be talked about. I had a fun time this year in the art world. I'm excited to see where 2026 goes because I know that so many incredibly talented people have been in the kitchen cooking. So many talented people have been cooking, myself included, my friends included, my sibling included. So it's gonna be so incredibly fun and up and